I wanted to talk a little bit about how Jaco Pastorius ruined my bass playing. Anyway, he's fantastic. What a talent. The stuff he did with Joni Mitchell is mind-bogglingly good. Him and Pat Metheny together were just incredible. And I always respected, his abilities and his, you know, the way he thought about music, and he was a complete innovator on the electric bass. And I just never spent the time to analyze what he was doing. I played a few of the weather report things, and of course, from his original album, it's, that's kind of required reading for anybody up and coming in bass playing. But there was an incident. I think it was either the late 70s or early 80s. And I used to go to the Playboy Jazz Festival every year. And one of those years, and I don't believe my memory fails me in any way, it was burned into my retinas watching what happened on stage. But I remember Bill Cosby was the MC, as he usually was, and I believe, gosh, I can't remember if it was Tito Puente's band or somebody's Latin band, big band, was up on stage. And I remember in the middle of one of their songs, Jaco, jumped up during their set. He wasn't playing. He just walked in and told their bass player to, I want to play, so, move over. And it was just the weirdest thing I'd ever seen. But then a little later, he came on, and he was going to do his normal solo that he did. He had his stack of acoustic, they were blue, amps and speakers behind him. And he had that tall stack, and then he had his jazz bass with him. And he started to do his solo. He was the only guy on stage. I believe he was going to continue with Weather Report after that, but at any rate, he was up there to do his solo performance where he used the looper, and it was a pretty standard thing he was doing on his regular tours, and it's on one of the albums. But he got up there and he starts playing, and then he goes back to the amp and starts turning knobs, comes back out, starts playing some more, goes back over the amp, turns some knobs, comes back out to the front of the stage, starts playing, and then he just lost it. He took off his bass, threw it down on the floor of the stage, things bouncing all over the place. He walks back to that massive stack of acoustic stuff. I think it was, like 2 410 cabinets and a big amp on top. And he just pushes the whole thing over. It goes down like a big redwood in the forest, bam, onto the stage. And then he walked off. So that was my first real experience with Jaco Pastorius. I was just a beginning bass player back in the late 70s. And, this was a guy who should have been a massive influence on my playing. And instead, I formed an opinion at that concert. And I said, I just never want to see this guy again, because I said, he's got to be drugged out. He's got to be this, that, or the other. I don't know what's going on, but he's just bad news. Even though he's supposedly, one of the greatest bass players in the world, it just really set in stone something in my mind that I just said, I'm going to move other directions. So I spent a lot of time listening to, Lewis Johnson and Stanley Clark and Alfonso Johnson and some other really, prime players as well. But I circled back around to Jaco over the years and realized that I probably shouldn't have formed the opinion I did and had such a firm stance about it. I should have actually spent more time listening to what he was doing and working on my pizzicato style and fretless playing. He truly was outstanding, especially for that time period. I mean, there's players now that are just superb. I listen to Pino Palladino play his fretless, and it's just the perfect tone. Wonderful, restrained, but articulate playing. And there's some amazing bassists out there, but Jaco really was one of the most innovative, especially for that time period, and some of his performances are just jaw-droppingly beautiful. So had I spent the time, I think I could have been a little better, a lot better than I am today, but I moved in different directions and felt good about those. But yeah, I think you need to keep an open mind about everybody, no matter what kind of a mess they are at any particular time, and just take the good from whoever you can take it from and just ignore the bad.